Welcome to the main campus Residence Hall housing registration process for the 2020-2021 academic year. The main campus Residence Hall housing registration process will take place from March 16th to March 24th. All students planning to register with a roommate must create a roommate group and accept membership in that group through the Student Housing Gateway prior to their registration date. Single and double rooms will be available during the registration process. Full occupancy is required to register for a main campus room. So if you were going for a single, full occupancy would be one person. For a double, it would be two. All spaces in each room must be filled by continuing residential students. Housing registration is conducted each day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. through the Student Housing Gateway. Female students register 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and male students register 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Students must enable pop-ups in their web browser. Each group will select a designated roommate who will register the group for an assignment. The designated roommate must ensure that all members of the group have accepted the invitation to join the group in order to be pulled in as roommates during the registration process. Those students that do not have enough roommates to fill a room to full occupancy should submit preferences for housing on the designated date, and the RCL office will assign the student to a housing space. There are two dates for sophomore room selection for main campus registration. The first date is for those sophomores who have 40 to 55 credits at the end of the spring semester. Those meeting that credit requirement are able to register March 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. through the Student Housing Gateway. Again, female students will register 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and male students register 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you are uncertain about the credits that you have, please log into the Student Housing Gateway, click Completed Credits, and this will show you how many credits we reflect you'll have at the end of the spring semester. Full occupancy is required to register for a main campus room. Only continuing residential students can participate in the main campus housing registration process. The second sophomore main campus registration date is for those students who have 25 to 39 completed credits at the end of the spring semester. Those meeting these requirements are eligible to register March 17th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. through the Student Housing Gateway. Again, female students register from 10 to 1 p.m. and male students register from 1 to 4 p.m. The designated roommate must have earned between 25 and 39 credits at the conclusion of the spring semester, thus meaning the other individual does not have to meet that credit requirement. Full room occupancy is required to register for a main campus room. Only continuing residential students can participate in the main campus housing registration process. The third day of main campus registration is designated for those with 24 or less credits, the freshman room selection. Those with 24 or less credits are eligible to register on March 18th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. through the Student Housing Gateway, with females registering from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and males registering from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. The designated roommate must have earned 24 or less credits at the conclusion of the spring 2020 semester in order to assign self and other residential students within the selected main campus room. Full room occupancy is required to register for a main campus room. Only continuing residential students can participate in the main campus housing registration process. Our first solo residence day is for freshmen or sophomores wishing to live on main campus. Freshmen and sophomores with 55 or less completed credits at the conclusion of the spring 2020 semester are eligible to register on March 19th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. through the Student Housing Gateway. Please note this is for those residents who cannot fill the room to the full occupancy and must submit meal plan preferences and assignment preferences so that RCL can place you accordingly. March 23rd is designated for those juniors and seniors with 56 or greater credits who would wish to live in main campus housing. They will be eligible to go into the Student Housing Gateway from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and register. This is for those residents who meet full occupancy. Females are eligible to register from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and male students register from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. The designated roommate must have earned 56 or greater credits at the conclusion of the spring 2020 semester in order to assign self and other residential students within the selected main campus room. Only continuing residential students can participate in the main campus housing registration process. The last day of main campus registration is solo residence day for juniors or seniors. This includes students with 56 or greater completed credits at the conclusion of the spring 2020 semester that cannot fill a room to full occupancy. They will submit housing and meal plan preferences for an assignment and will be notified of this assignment by RCO. This date is on March 24th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. through the Student Housing Gateway. Here are some helpful reminders. Double and single room accommodations are available during the main campus registration process. Cox Hall is the only residence hall that provides single room accommodations. The housing rates for 2020 and 2021 are published on our website. Students should discuss these rates with their family or financial provider prior to housing registration. All students that register for housing are signing a legally binding agreement. All students are encouraged to review the published housing terms and conditions, which can be found on our website. Students can access the Student Housing Gateway through the RCL website or directly using this link. Have a backup plan. What will your group do if your first choice is no longer available when you register? Make sure that you enable pop-ups in your web browser. The total number of main campus rooms that remain after each registration date will be posted to the RCL website in the news section. Make sure your roommate has accepted membership in the group prior to your registration date. Any student that requires a health or disability-related housing accommodation must apply for these accommodations each year. The deadline to apply is February 21st. Next is the registration tutorial. First, we will go over how to create a roommate group. Then, we will go over how to register for a main campus unit. Each step is a screenshot of the screen that you will see when going through housing registration. This is a page that you are all too familiar with, so you'll just log in using your LancerNet ID and password. The LancerNet ID is your last name, first initial, and middle initial, and if you have a number, that'll also be included. The password is the same one that you use to log in to My Longwood and Canvas. Once you have clicked Roommate Group Form, you will be redirected to the form. It's very important that you know membership in a group does not mean that you have registered for housing. A member of the group must complete the registration process on the designated day for registration in order to be assigned to an apartment or residence hall room. Any member of the group can complete the registration for the group. The group leader does not need to be the person that completes the registration for the group. It is important that all members of the group have accepted the membership to the group prior to the housing registration date so that they may be pulled in as a roommate. Once you are ready to create your group, you will want to click the green button at the bottom of the page. Once you have clicked this button, it will reflect that you are the group leader. With this, in order to invite somebody, you'll want to click the green button that says Invite. Once you have clicked Invite, the roommate search function will pop up. This will say RMS ID and have a blank space next to it. This blank space is going to be where you type in your roommate's 5-digit code. Once you have typed it in, go ahead and click Search. Upon clicking the search button, it will populate with Found and the resident's name. If the resident's name does not match the resident you are looking to room with, please go back and speak with your roommate. If it does match, go ahead and click the Select button next to the green check mark. Once you have clicked Select, your roommate group request will look like this. It will say Remove, should you no longer wish to live with that individual, the roommate's name, and status as invited. Once this is complete, you will want to click the Finish button. When your roommate goes in and accepts their invitation to the group, the status will change from invited to member. When it comes time for your registration date, you'll go to the main screen of the Student Housing Gateway and click on Main Campus Registration. It will direct you to this page. Step 1 is to make sure that both fall and spring are selected. If one is not selected, the form will not allow you to move forward in the process. The next step is Step 2, Roommate Group Members. Please make sure under this section that it shows that your roommate is listed as a roommate. If it does not reflect your roommate, if you proceed to the next step, the only available options that will show up are single units as opposed to double units. Once you click the next step after reviewing your roommate selections, you will come to this page. This page shows you the exact bed spaces that are available. Once you have selected the appropriate bed space for you and your roommate, you'll want to go to the right-hand side of the box and click on the yellow lock icon. Once you have clicked the yellow lock button, this locks that bed space from any other individual getting the space. You will see that there are either one space for singles or two spaces for doubles, so that you can drop down and select which bed space you and your roommate will be assigned. As you can see, Jean is in bed space A in Stubbs 209, and Chesley has been assigned to Stubbs 209B. Once this is complete, you will want to click Next Step. The last step of housing registration is selecting a meal plan. As you can see, there are two sections for each resident. Underneath, you will find a green plus sign. You'll want to click on that, and there will be a drop-down for you to select which meal plan you'd like. The meal plans available on main campus for the 2020-2021 academic year are the Block 160, Block 225, and the All Access. Once you have selected your plan, click the green check mark and select, otherwise it will not save. Do this for both you and your roommate. Once you have selected meal plans for both you and your roommate, it will reflect type meal, because that's the plan type, and the plan that you have selected. So Jean has selected the Block 160, and Chesley has selected the All Access. Once this is finalized, you will want to click Finish. At this time, you will have completed your main campus registration. Should you have any additional questions or concerns following housing registration, please email housing@longwood.edu or call us at 434-395-2080.